What's up, guys? It's Showtime's Fight Forum. You already know what it is, where we talk all things fights. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Today's conversation, I'm amped for. I'm ready. I'm hyped. And this is going to be one of my Josh's opinions, man. Like, I love to have these topics of, like, fantasy matchups. These are honestly, one of the most fun. Like, it's obviously never going to happen. And it's just things that us fans like to discuss because it's fun. So, if you don't like it, I don't know. Watch something else. But as always, like I said, thank you for watching. So today is going to be an interesting discussion about Floyd Mayweather. Now, I've came across this meme, which was, what would Floyd's record be versus these six fighters? And these six fighters were some of the greatest of all time. And that was Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Thomas Hearns, and then it was Pernell Whitaker. Now, these are all six all-time greats. All right, all-time greats. And we already know Floyd is the self-proclaimed TBE, greatest ever, the best ever. A lot of people believe that in this generation. I'm one of the people who don't necessarily believe that. However, if you want to say it, cool, whatever, I don't care. He's undefeated. He's been unblemished. There's not too much. I mean, I can argue, but yeah, you go just say he'll never lose, and then that's all I can say. That's all I can be like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so we already know what Floyd is, man. Floyd's 50-0. The greatest defensive fighter I've ever seen. Obviously, in my opinion, the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I've made a list already. If you haven't seen that, look at my playlist. I have it up there. I have a top 5 list. He's number 1. There's a whole nother list. A list of people that's up there as well that deserves credit. And actually, one of them is actually one of the people he's fighting against in this 6-round or 6 people fight tournament, whatever it is. Now, I was of the belief, and when I seen this list, my first thing was like, I can see him going 3-3. I know there's people who think he will go 6-0. Oh, okay. I'm one of the people who won't believe that. I've always said, if the greatest of all time all fight each other, there's no way everybody's going to leave undefeated. These are the greatest people in this weight that's ever existed. There's no way Floyd's going to beat every single one of these guys. Sorry. I just don't believe that. I think Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest of all time. Even I don't think he would go 6-0 versus this entire list. There's people he would lose to. Granted, I think if it's like a 3-round trilogy, I meant 3-round, I don't keep saying that. This is trilogy with all these guys. I would think Sugar Ray Robinson would probably get the best of 99% of them. I would say one of them is probably a really bad matchup and probably would beat him twice out of the 3. But I don't think Floyd is that guy. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and let's break down each and every single fight and how I see it going. And yeah, let's go back. First person I see right there is Sugar Ray Robinson versus Floyd Mayweather. How do I see that fight going? And let's break these down, all right? Sugar Ray Robinson has over 200 fights. He has, I think, over 100 knockouts. The guy has power in both hands, great combinations. I mean, the guy depleted 147, and then he bumped up to 154. Mind you, his first loss, I think he was like, 90-1 or whatever. His fight that he lost was for Jake LaMotta, who's a Hall of Famer, who's one of the greatest middleweights of all time. And mind you, it was like a 15, 17 pound weight difference. Like Sugar Ray actually weighed like 145, and Jake LaMotta was like 160. And once again, we're talking about a Hall of Fame fighter. It's not like he fought some scrub for 16 pounds up. He fought a Hall of Famer in his prime, and he lost. And then they fought 5 more times, and Sugar Ray beat the brakes off of him like bad, very badly. Especially one of them was just awful. I thought that was shit. Ooh, it was awful. But anyways, like I said before, he's great footwork, amazing chin. He's never been knocked out. If you look at his records, so one will say TKO. He never was knocked out. He passed out from dehydration. He fought at light heavyweight. I just told you he's a welterweight for the title, the world champion, and he was winning. And this is a 15-round fight outdoors in 106-degree heat, and he passed out. That's why he lost. If it wasn't for that, he was going to win the fight on cards. So that shows you how great and how dominant Sugar Ray Robinson was. I've already stated about Floyd, 50-0. He has the most, I think either the most or the second most world champions on his list. I think he has like 16 or 17 world champions that he's beaten. But I've always said this before. It's great. That's a great accomplishment for today's world. But in people time like Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard and all that, there wasn't that many belts. So that means there wasn't that many champions. So now it's kind of diluted. Everybody has a world championship belt now. Like we already have regular champs, franchise champs, all that other stuff. So who cares? But how I see it going easily, I think Sugar Ray Robinson is the better boxer. Yes, Floyd has great defense. We know this. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he would like easy clean sweep and knock him out. I don't think it would be an easy fight at all. Floyd is a tricky matchup for almost anybody. And I think that Sugar Ray can fight inside to make it dirty enough. And mind you, Sugar Ray's tall. He's a tall, lanky fighter. And he's very quick. He's great combinations. And I don't think that Floyd has the power to really threaten him too much. I'm not saying Floyd doesn't lacks power, because he does have power. However, we're talking about a man who's fought 200 fights and never got knocked out. He got dropped. He's never got knocked out. I think that the carelessness, I ain't gonna say carelessness, but the trusting of his chin and knowing that he can withstand everything Floyd throws will make him open up more offensively. Same thing kind of Madonna was. Madonna wasn't as worried about that power, and he was able to maul Floyd and make that fight close. I think Sugar Ray could do the same thing if he genuinely wanted to. And those combinations are blistering fast, and they come from weird angles. And bro, if they land, I don't give a damn who you are, you're going down. He's one of the hardest punchers ever too. So yeah. I'll go 1-0. I'll say Floyd will win. 0-1. Floyd would lose that fight. Second fight I'll go is Julio Cesar Chavez. If you don't know, man, the guy was like 87-0. And a lot of those cupcake wins. But however, he was an amazing fighter, and he's, I think, listed as the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. I do think, however, Floyd will win this fight. I think that this was probably, in my opinion, the easiest fight on this list for him. Yes, Julio Cesar Chavez is a very good offensive fighter, very good combinations, good footwork. However, he's just too slow. I don't think he'll be able to mug Floyd like he would want to mug Floyd. And I think Floyd will be able to pick him apart and be able to outpoint him 12 rounds. So, yeah, I will say Floyd by unanimous decision beating Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. So that's 1-1. Oh, yeah, and people say how I see it going for the results. I think honestly, Sugar Ray will get him out the way. I think Sugar Ray probably knock him out. I'm bro. Like, to be able to knock out the middleweights and to be able to threaten and hurt the light heavyweights, like it's just I don't know what you can do, man. That guy's just too good. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody at 147, man, can really taste that power and just not go to sleep. I'm sorry. So yeah, I just say 1-1. Now let's go Pernell Whitaker. If you see my list of greatest defensive fighters, I have Floyd 1. Number 2 was Pernell Whitaker. One of the most athletically gifted fighters we've seen, one of the most naturally gifted fighters we've ever seen, and especially in my generation. He was phenomenal. You look at tape, the tape with him and Oscar, not landing anything, and this man dancing and styling on him. This is a prime Oscar. Pernell is just he's a special beast. Now, I will say, and let me say this, sparring means nothing. Realistically, but I had heard some rumblings of them two sparring and Floyd whooping them. I can't let that pass. I can't let it go. I should, but I can't. These guys did, and this is early Floyd. So I have to unfortunately say I think Floyd will win. I'm not gonna say it's an easy match, but it's two defensive fighters. I think one is defensively better, which is Floyd. They're both quick, good shots. They both have power that can hurt you, but they're not known for it. They both are more decision people, especially later in their careers. But I just think Floyd is better. Has the better IQ. I think he is slightly more dedicated. I don't think there's too many boxers, if any, that are more dedicated to the boxing game that Floyd was. And I mean, I just think the fight IQ is higher. So I'm gonna go Floyd by unanimous decision, but in a close tactical fight, I think Floyd will win. So I'm gonna say 2-1 so far, Floyd. Now, these are the tough ones. These are the ones I have really hardcore debates with. And this is with the 4 kings, even though it's only 3, because Floyd would never in his history of life fight Marvin Hagler. Never happening, would never happen. It's not even a thought. If he ain't fighting Triple G, he sure as hell ain't fighting Marvin Hagler. And that is, let's start this off with the one that some people will sleep on, but I think Floyd would have much trouble with. And that is Roberto Duran versus Floyd Mayweather. We already know hands of stone. That's what they call him. Why? Because this man hits hard as hell. This man bumped all the way up, and he went head to toe with Marvin Hagler. And this is a lightweight. This is what got started at lightweight. He's known as a lightweight. And he went all the way to Marvin Hagler and went to war with this man. That shows you what type of dude Roberto Duran is. This guy is also, I think, a matchup that gave Floyd trouble in his career. A guy that can fight inside, that make it dirty, make it ugly, that punches really hard. If Madonna can give him trouble, if Castillo give Floyd trouble, what the hell make you think Roberto Duran will not give Floyd trouble? Is he slower? Yes, much slower. However, You don't have to match him with speed. You can just match him with brutality. And that is what Roberto Duran brought. So I think if they fought 3 times, I think Floyd will win 2 out of the 3. If this is the first fight, I'm going to say Roberto Duran will win. I think that it would cause Floyd some very complicated problems that he will not be able to adjust with quick enough versus Roberto Duran to give him trouble. And he will get hurt by Roberto Duran. And then I think after the first fight, Floyd is a computer and he will analyze, and I think he will beat him 2 out of the 3. So I'm going to say, at one point I had it Floyd, because I said, man, Roberto's too slow. Then I really broke it down and thought about it. His style gives Floyd trouble. And we've seen it. Castillo, in my opinion, Castillo beat Floyd, in my opinion. And I just have a hard time believing that Roberto couldn't do the same. So yeah, I'm going to go right now. He's what, 2-2? Yes, he's 2-2. Now the last 2 is also tough. And this is going to be, let's start this off with Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Floyd, it would be one of the most hyped up fights of all time, in my opinion. We have the golden boy in Sugar Ray Leonard, who everybody adored, who was the star, the face of boxing, versus Floyd, the anti-enemy. Everything about their styles clash. Defensive, offensive, athletically gifted, they're extremely athletically gifted. The person everyone loves, the person everybody hates. Good versus evil, basically. And it's a crash course that would be bonkers. I'm telling you, this would be the craziest. I don't think, out of the history of boxing, I think if those 2 fought, I think that would be the biggest fight in history. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because of the perplexing styles and like how interesting of a matchup that is. So how would I see that going? I don't think Sugar Ray could outbox Floyd. I think that he would have a hard time doing that. I think that granted, he is great offensively. I think that he has great combinations and his speed is amazing. I think that he would have to finish him, in my opinion. And I don't think that it's impossible that he wouldn't. We've never seen Floyd knocked out, but we've seen Floyd hurt bad. So if the punch that hurt Sugar Ray Leonard, the punch that hurt Floyd, he got from Sugar Ray Leonard was from Shane Mosley, the hell you think will happen if Sugar Ray did it? So yes, this obviously, we're doing fantasy, so we have to just match this up the way we can. So it's hard for me to believe that Sugar Ray couldn't land that punch either. So I do think that he could get a TKO in the 4th. How I see it going, I will say that if it goes to decision, Floyd will win. But Sugar Ray had that heart and had that power. I think that he will get him out the way. It won't be quick, won't be easy, but I feel like in order to do that, you have to do it within the first 6 rounds. After the 6 rounds, you're not beating Floyd. So I will say that 6-round KO by Sugar Ray Leonard. And if you want to grill me for that, cool. Because some of these I get, Floyd is tough. Floyd can beat all these guys, but he also can lose to these guys too, because they're all-time greats. Now the last one, and people are definitely going to disagree with me, but I don't care. And that is Thomas Hearns versus Floyd Mayweather. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I think that this is the worst stylistic matchup for Floyd out of anybody on this list. We're talking about a guy who's over 6 feet with an 80-plus inch reach, the greatest jab in that division, and one of the greatest jabs of all time. And he has knockout power. Let's put this. He's a puncher boxer. I'm sorry, he's a boxer puncher, not a puncher boxer. He's a boxer puncher, aka he's never been outboxed a single round. I mean, not rounds, not a single fight at 147 or 154. Never. Sugar Ray Leonard had to get him out the way in order to beat him. If this was a 12-round fight like we do nowadays, Thomas Hearns might be undefeated. No, he will be undefeated at welterweight. I just have a hard time seeing Floyd overcome the reach, the speed, the power, and the boxing ability of a Thomas Hearns. Some people are going to sit here and say he can't outbox him. I think he could. I think Thomas Hearns could beat him. I think he's probably one of the only boxers that can beat him, beat him in 12 rounds. He was that good. Like he was. At welterweight, he was. He should never have been fighting at welterweight. His size doesn't make sense, especially for his power to carry over at that weight. And they were doing same-day weigh-ins. The same day weigh-ins. He had to fight the same day. I'm 100% like I'm very confident that if they fought, and I don't think Floyd would ever fight Thomas because it's just a terrible matchup. Like some people might want to bring up Diego Corrales, but that's not even close to what Thomas Hearns was. Thomas Hearns is way bigger, much longer reach, much quicker, better fighter overall. And Diego was a great fighter, but he's nowhere near Thomas Hearns. So how do I see that going? Whatever the hell Thomas Hearns wants to do. We can outbox him for 12 rounds, or we can knock him out because his power was ridiculous. So yeah, and that reach is just way too long. Like reach, size does matter, y'all. Size does matter. Reach does matter. Sugar Ray is bigger than Floyd. Much bigger. The reason why he was able to go up to middleweight too. So it's not as easy as people think. So yeah, how basically what am I right now? 2-4. Unfortunately, I'm at 2-4 for Floyd. And I think I have Floyd ranked all time higher than some of these guys. But yet still, styles make fat fights. And I know for like all time list, Floyd is much higher than Thomas Hearns, easily, not debatable. However, styles make fat fights. That doesn't matter. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you think Floyd's record would be versus these 6 legends? 6-0, 5-1. You let me know, and tell me where you think I'm wrong at. Cause just know I will be commenting. So, but as always, man, thank you guys for watching. You already know what it is. It's your boy Showtime. Make sure y'all be blessed.